Hi Year 10. So this is the lesson that you normally have Mr. Salt for, that you use as a revision lesson. So today we're going to look at prime factorisation of a number. So before we get into that, I'm just going to quickly remind you what prime numbers are. So they have two factors, which are 1 and itself. So 1 is always a little bit of a dodgy one, but 1 isn't a prime number because actually that only has one factor, which is 1. So your first prime number is actually 2, because the only numbers that are factors of 2 would be 1 and 2. So likewise 3. So again, the only numbers that will divide exactly into 3 are 1 and 3. 4, for example, wouldn't be a prime number because 2 will go into it. It's in the 2 times table. So your next one would be 5. I won't keep going through every single one, but 6 wouldn't be a prime number because 2 and 3 will go into it. So your next one would be 7. Then you'd have 11, 13, 17, 19. So it's going to be handy just to have those up there for us actually for the rest of this work as well. So the first question, find the prime factorisation of 120. So to do that, if we write the number 120 here, you're looking for two numbers that multiply to get 120. It can be any two numbers that multiply to get 120. So you might spot that it ends in 0 and you might go for 12 and 10. Or you might spot that it's even, and so therefore we could do 60 and 2. So it really doesn't matter which two you choose. I am going to go for 60 and 2, but if you use something like 12 and 10, that would be absolutely fine. Right, after that, you then need to decide, are either of these numbers prime? So 60, I know that can still be split up further. That is in the 10 times table and many others, so that we cannot circle, but 2 is one of my prime numbers, so I'm going to put a circle around 2. That can't be split up anymore. So 60, again, we're now going to do the same kind of idea as we did to the 120 up here. So I'm thinking about two numbers that multiply to get 60. Again, any two numbers that you like. So this time, just to mix up a little bit, I'm going to go for 6 and 10. So again, now I'm going to check either of these numbers. 6. Not a prime number, so how can I split this up even more? Well, I could do 3 times 2. 3 is a prime number, so I can put a circle around that one. And 2, also a prime number, so I can put a circle around that one. And then going back to the 10 that we had up here, we also need to split that one up, because again, 10 is not a prime number. So 10, I could do 2 times 5, which again, 2 is a prime number, and 5 is also a prime number. So I can't go anywhere else with that now. They're all circled and I can't split these up anymore. So your final step really is just to kind of count up how many you've got of each. So I've got 1, 2, 3 2s. So I could say, well, look, that's 2 to the power of 3. I've got 1 3, so I just times it by 3. And then I've got 1 5, so I times it by 5. And that would be my final answer. You just leave it like that. If you did work this out, if you actually did it on a calculator or work this out in your head, so 2 cubed times 3 times 5, you should get 120 as your answer. So it can be used as a way to check that you've done it correctly, but that is how I would actually want to leave my answer. So prime just means these are prime numbers, and they are just have all been multiplied together, and that would give you then 120. So the next one, just in case anyone wants one more example, obviously if you're fine with that, you might want to skip through the next part of the video. So 70, I'm going to go for 10 and 7. So actually this one is going to be a little bit easier to split up. 10 is not a prime number, but 7 is. So I can put a circle around 10 like that. And then 10 I can split up into 5 and 2. And 5 is prime. It's in my list up there, look, and so also is 2. So that one is done very quickly. That would just be 2 times 5 times 7, and that would be my answer for that one. Right, so then you can use these factorisations to work out what we call the HCF and the LCM. So HCF, you might remember from earlier years, it stands for highest common factor. LCM stands for lowest common multiple. So there are many different ways to do this. I like to use a Venn diagram to help us, but there are other ways to do it. So if you can already do this without any of these methods, that's fine. You can carry on doing whatever you're doing, but just check that you can get the same answer as me. So first of all, I'm going to draw a Venn diagram like this. And I'm going to do a circle for the 120 and then a circle for 70, like that. And what I'm going to do is look at what comes in both factorizations. So for example, I've got a 7 here but no 7 here, but I have got a 5 here and a 5 there, so I can put that in the middle because they both have a 5. That one's got a 3, but this one hasn't got a 3, so I can't put a 3 in the middle. But look, I have got a 2 here, and there would be a 2 in that 2 cubed. So I can't put a 2 cubed in the middle because I haven't got actually 2 cubed here, it's just a 2 on its own. But I can put a 2, just 1, 2, like that in the middle. So what you then need to do is finish off the Venn diagram. So if I have a look now at the 121, you can see that we've got one of those 2's, but this should be 2 cubed. So I need to put in another 2 2's there, so that now in that 120 circle I've got 1, 2, 3, like it should be. 3, well there's no 3 in there at the moment, so that's going to have to go here as well. But the 5 I've already got here in the middle, so that's fine. Right, I'm now going to check the same now for the 70. So I've got the 2, I've got the 5, but I'm missing the 7, so that would have to go there. Right, once you've done that Venn diagram, it's actually now really quite easy. So to get your highest common factor, it's just always these middle ones times together. So I would just do 5 times 2, or obviously 2 times 5. So my highest common factor would just be 10. Lowest common multiple, you just times all these numbers here together. So I would do 3 times 2 times 2 for these ones, times 5 times 2, and then times 7. So I could, well, I should be able to do this without a calculator, but I am going to cheat and do this on my calculator. And so I get an answer of 840. So that would be my lowest common multiple. So what I would like you to do now is have a go at doing this yourselves. There should be a worksheet attached with these kind of questions on. Obviously use this video to help you look through it again if you need to. Okay, good luck. Bye.